The disassociation from silence. In a world of constant stimulation, silence feels like withdrawal. When the hum of screens, music, and chatter stops, the nervous system suddenly drops out of its steady drip of dopamine, the small but constant chemical reward of noise and novelty. Without that stimulant, the body trembles like an addict denied a fix. This is why people panic in quiet. They mistake stillness for emptiness, when it's actually the gateway back into presence. They've been living suspended above the earth, in loops of artificial light, synthetic sound, and digitized rhythm. Houses once made of wood and clay now hum with electricity, Wi-Fi, and air conditioning. The walls no longer breathe, they insulate. Concrete covers soil, and screens replace sunlight. Their senses have learned to resonate with the artificial field of human creation rather than the electromagnetic pulse of the earth. So when all the noise stops, they lose their bearings. There's nothing left to hold on to, because they've forgotten how to feel the earth itself holding them. Stillness calls the body back. It regrounds awareness in the heartbeat, the breath, the pulse of the world. Those who resist it drift upward, detached, trying to cling to any new sound or movement that will keep them from falling into that vast, unknown quiet, the place where true presence begins. People today are infected by a psychological condition, the boredom virus. It's not a true emptiness of life, but a symptom of disconnection from the natural rhythms of Earth, from the sensory richness that comes from being embedded in nature, and from spaces that nurture silence rather than drown it in noise. Most people can't stand quiet. The moment sound disappears, they feel lost, anxious, or depressed. They instinctively reach for stimulation, music, TV, social media, anything to fill the space. This constant noise acts like a psychological pacifier, preventing direct contact with their inner world. This is the boredom reflex. Silence reveals the void. It's not that humans are disassociated from their bodies. Their homes are disassociated from the earth. Modern environments are sealed boxes. No wind, no birdsong, no crickets, no rain. We've created climate-controlled voids, insulated from nature's sound, smells, and subtle energies. This sensory deprivation creates artificial silence, which the mind experiences as boredom or meaninglessness. So people rush to fill it with TV, playlists, or background chatter, trying to stimulate what nature used to provide effortlessly, a living, textured soundscape. Humans evolved to exist with nature's rhythm, the whisper of leaves, the hum of insects, distant water, shifting light. This is the natural background music of consciousness. These subtle sounds regulate the nervous system and remind us of our belonging. When those inputs disappear, our sense of participation in life fades. Without sensory connection to the living world, even comfort becomes sterile, and the mind interprets that sterility as boredom, depression, or existential emptiness. Constant entertainment acts as synthetic nature, artificial stimulation to mimic the sense of aliveness. But it only masks the deeper issue. Instead of reconnecting with nature, we drown out the silence with digital noise, a simulation of presence that never satisfies. Noise is the modern ritual against the void, but it doesn't heal, it just numbs. The cure isn't more stimulation, it's reconnection. It's rewilding our perception, not escaping the void, but hearing the world breathe again. Most people think the problem is that the silence forces them to face themselves. But the void doesn't expose the self, it removes reference points. In silence, there's nothing to measure against, no rhythm, no timeline, no narrative progression. Without sound or external structure, people lose their sense of temporal orientation. They don't know where they are in the flow of the day. That disorientation quickly becomes uncomfortable, not because of inner demons, but because the mind is addicted to anchors, to markers of continuity. So the boredom virus isn't fear of the self, it's loss of bearings in the absence of stimulation. Noise, especially predictable media like TV, podcasts, or movies, gives structure. A 2-hour movie equals a 2-hour block of life. A playlist becomes a kind of clock. When one ends, another begins. This lets the mind feel oriented, grounded in artificial time. Without these, time dissolves into a kind of freefall. So people don't crave noise for meaning, they crave it for temporal stability. The problem isn't just psychological disconnection from the body, it's architectural disconnection from the earth. The boredom virus arises from environmental disorientation as much from inner restlessness. The cure to boredom isn't activity, it's reattunement. The mind doesn't need noise, it needs texture. Restlessness is the body and mind's reaction to unstructured time or unanchored attention. It's that inner agitation, not full anxiety, but a subtle vibration that says, do something, Move, change, fill the space. It happens when the mind loses its foothold in a predictable rhythm or sensory context. In nature, that's rare. There's always movement, sound, wind, life. In modern silence, though, there's nothing to respond to. So the nervous system, built to track change in pattern, starts searching. It becomes restless. Restlessness is the first symptom of the boredom virus. In true quiet, there's no feedback, no rhythm, no texture, no signal to synchronize with. The body's natural attention system, which evolved to react to subtle changes, suddenly has nothing to track. The nervous system starts scanning for input. That scanning feels like restlessness, a subtle panic, a need to move or stimulate something. It's the body trying to reorient in a vacuum, like zero gravity. The mind interprets restlessness as boredom. The body says, we're lost in space. The mind says, I'm bored. But the truth is, it's disorientation, not a lack of interest. Boredom is an absence of excitement. It's absence of sensory gravity. Restlessness is the body spinning in zero gravity. So people who need noise, they're simply accustomed to artificial stimulation that provides temporal stability. They view silence as the void, the absence of reference points. This creates environmental disorientation, a kind of sensory deprivation born from our built environments. When natural feedback disappears, the nervous system starts searching for rhythm. That searching feels like restlessness. And when the mind interprets that restlessness, it names it boredom or meaninglessness. Noise doesn't actually solve the silence, it just soothes it. It's a comfort mechanism, a pacifier for the nervous system. Just as a baby sucks on a pacifier to mimic the rhythm of nourishment, adults consume constant noise to mimic the rhythm of life. But it's imitation, not nourishment. It feels fed. The body relaxes temporarily. It feels fed by the pattern and motion of sound, yet underneath the deeper hunger remains, the need for authentic sensory connection to the living world. I'm not calling for more, not more gadgets, practices, or even nature retreats. I'm calling for less, for the subtraction of the artificial layers that numb, clutter, and insulate us. When the excess falls away, the screens, the constant hum of stimulation, the sealed walls, what remains is nature, and we discover it was never gone, only covered up. Stillness isn't just one thing, it's a pattern that repeats at every level of life. 1. Stillness from society. Stop the worker bee mentality. Step away from the programmed routines, the constant obligations, the societal pressure to perform. Find freedom from external compulsion. 2. Silence from artificial noise. Remove the distractions, TV, music, notifications, and constant chatter. Return to the natural soundscape. Winds, birds, water, life moving around you. 3. Silence from thoughts. Stop trying to figure it out or control reality. Let the mind settle, unfocus, and just listen. Be present. Awareness itself becomes the landscape.